Yeah, well, I think what you said is like it's just the exposure of the the cracks that have been here, like you said, for a long time. And I heard
Yeah.
Sean King say something about why he thinks history is repeating itself, and that we have slavery, like you said, where it was just if you were black, you were a slave, and your children and your
Period.
children's children's period. And then we
Right.
outlawed that. Okay, cool. Abraham Lincoln, awesome. And then Jim Crow. Okay, well then we kind of fixed that. Okay, great. Then Alton Sterling, Terrence Crutcher, and George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, like you have all these things happening, and he's saying that it's because the values don't change, or the values have. I think the values have changed as a whole, right? If I was born and raised in the hometown that I live in 70 years ago, there's a strong likelihood that I would be brought up with like racist teaching in my head. So values have
be a good old
changed
boy.
because values have changed because I had great parents that, and I even living in the South and living in the country, there was zero like racist teachings or thoughts that ever came into my head, even amongst my friends and stuff. So I agree with you. It's gotten better, but there are people with the values that have not changed. And when you have someone said like, okay, slavery abolished, 1865, the end of the Civil War. Do you think all those slave owners just took a pill and thought that it was a good idea? You know what? That's a great idea. Yep. You're right. All equal. Separate but equal.
Yeah.
Separate but equal. That's a great point. Yep. You think they just took a pill that made them not racist? After Jim Crow, do you think those, all of the restaurant owners and those kind of like people who wanted the blacks to eat in the back or where no, you think they just took a pill? What do you think they taught their kids? You know what I'm saying?
How about that?
And who are the kids? The kids are the generation that are police officers right now. Or, and again, I want to like, and I want to just like be so clear, and it's annoying, truthfully, that I have to be so clear. And I think that we have to be so clear when we're talking about this issue, but I want to be so clear that there are so many great cops and they're not all bad cops. I get it. But just like you said, if there were 100 Skittles and you knew 2 of them were poison and were going to kill you, would you eat any of them? That's the point. And like to go more on the Chris Rock quote that you said that I loved, is so right. It's like, oh, it's just a few bad apples. And he said like, oh, that's a nice name for murder. That's pretty nice. He said, what about like airline pilots? If American Airlines was like, you know, we got great pilots. There's a few that like to crash in the mountains, but there's just a few bad apples, you know, bear with us.
Bear with us, yeah.
Just like you said, there are some organizations and there are some people that have so much legal power. A bad apple is not acceptable. We can't just go, well, you know, this, I know bad cops. Yeah, so-and-so officer, whatever. He says the N-word all the time and he just talks about that.
Choked out a little girl the other day.
Even if it's just rhetoric, like they got to go. And I hope to God that after all of this has happened and this just upheaval of this tension has just totally exploded, I hope to God that there's going to be a higher standard for police officers in this issue, even in their rhetoric. We don't want to wait till the guy who like calls the black neighborhood animals and uses the N-word and says racial remarks. We don't want to wait till he acts in order to fire him. We don't want to wait that long. Like hopefully there can be a higher standard to just get that guy out immediately.